You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show. We talk all about the live interpreter API with my friend Jackie Kang. Make sure you tune in. Hello, welcome to this episode of the AI Show. We're talking all about the live interpreter API with my friend Jackie Kang. Thank you so much for being with us, Jackie.
Hi, Zess. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, so first time on the show, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Kam. I'm the PM leader for the Azure Speech Modeling and Quality. My focus is on improving Microsoft soft speech product service and overall quality.
That's amazing. So why don't we just first start with like what is the actual live interpreter API do so that people get a sense for it? So I'm going to bring up a slide that you brought for us.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I have a chance to talking about our new live interpreter API, and this is a breakthrough that like makes cross-language communication more seamless and in nature than ever before. So you can see that what it will bring is originally we have a real-time speech translation API. It has been GA for quite a while, but it's already powered the translation applications and the device like a Microsoft Translator, Teams, and other customer products. But there are some important gaps when it comes to seamless human-like interpretation. Imagine in a global conference, a speaker is talks, but the audience hears a delayed robotic translation, or in some meeting or phone call, the conversation will feel like a choppy with mismatched timing and no personal tone. So the challenge we face is you can see that one is the latency. Yeah, the traditional system usually takes like 7 seconds to finish the speech to speech translation, which is much slower than human interpreter. Another thing is voice quality. Yeah, the output, if you're using a standard platform voice, which will doesn't carry your tone, your volume, your speaking style, some of the message were lost. The nuance and the emotion were lost. And also, in a lot of app or device, you have to manually set like a source language, which is inconvenient when you have a conversation with mixed multiple languages people. Okay, so the new AI interpreter you can see in the slides, we have bring several, I think, great themes. The first
Yeah.
is you never need to set any input language. You're just using your device, using your app, talking to anybody speaking any language. It can help you to translate. It can already support 76 language, which 143 locales, almost cover majority of the locales in the world. Another thing that we have cut the speech-to-speech translation from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. I will tell you how to do that later. Yeah, because it become much shorter and close to the human parity, it will bring the improves the user experience much better. Another amazing thing is we introduce personal voice, which will really simulate your tone, your voice, so you can start the translation just like using your own voice speaking another language.
Hold on.
That's
So
amazing.
as I'm looking at this is impressive. Like I don't know if people know this. Jackie maybe don't know this. My research was in computational linguistics and machine translation. And so the fact and we used to have to do a whole bunch of huge models, but the fact that we can go from like 5 seconds to live translation of voice that preserves intonation, what it's 76 languages and 104, that's actually really impressive.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're so excited. We can really bring this to our customer, to the people like really wanted this. Yeah.
Yeah, and as I'm looking at this, you have a couple of scenarios there. Can you tell us about what kind of scenarios people can use this for? I mean, I personally, I don't know. I watched Star Trek when I was a kid, and I was like, wow, it would be great to have a universal translator. This is starting to get close to that in terms of human language, which is really cool.
Yeah, so we have several targeted scenarios. First one is thinking about in a global company conference or in a national conference. Then the speakers, you are speaking one language, but your audience, they are speaking different language, and they want to listen to your speaking with your own language to understand better. So using this technology, your speaking contents will be seamlessly translated to different languages and using your own voice. Then all the audience they can And because it's a very, very short latency, it's just like you are speaking in parallel multiple languages and everybody can hear. Imagine, that's a very amazing thing. And another thing, like already received some of the customer scenarios. They wanted this. They are in their phone call. They go to the travel abroad. They will call some of the government or hospital or something, but they cannot say the native language, local language. Then they want to, when they have a call, if this technology is embedded into their translator app, think about it. You can talk in native language with local peoples directly, and they know, they can understand your contents, they understand your volume, your tone, so that your message, whatever you are happy, you're angry, you are like a very urgency, yeah, those information were directly delivered. That's
And
amazing
this is
part.
so this is bi-directional, right? So like they're talking and then I hear it in my language, I'm talking, they're hearing it in their language.
Exactly. They are just, you are
Oh
just
my
both
goodness.
sides are just like talking with people in your own language naturally, conversation. Yeah,
This is
that's the
amazing. So
amazing part.
I want
Yeah,
to
I
move
really
on to the
wanted to
next.
introduce how this works. Yeah.
Yeah, so can we move on to like how this actually works? There's another slide. Can you explain what we're looking at here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm excited to tell you what's going on. You can see that the first diagram is the currently traditional speech translation. We call it a cascade solution. So it will detect your language, translate it to transcribe it to text, then do the text-to-text translation and text to speech. So everything is like a whole sentence based. So that's why it's called the latency. In our latest technology, we introduced the streamlined modeling, we call it. So there is one model. It will automatically translate the audio into the target language. Just one model. You don't have to call multiple models. And within this model, it will do the multilingual understanding. It will automatically understand what your language you are talking and do the translation without to detect first. And then meanwhile, your audio segment will bypass to another thing we call the personal voice. That personal voice will consume your audio segment and simulate your voice with the translated contents. Then everything together is just less than 5 seconds. So this is the amazing thing. And also you can get this with just 3 lines of code. You can see the code I share is you just need set the target language you want to translate, enable the personal voice, and tell the system that you want auto detect. Boom, that since it's done. You get
Yeah,
the thing. Yeah.
this is cool because I'm looking at this and now I'm starting to get a sense for why it's faster. Because I mean, in the first diagram, the language detection, speech to text to text, and then text to speech, like you can see how that's gonna say you've actually made a single model do that job, but then you've added another model for personalization that works in this at the same ish time so that you can get these things happening in parallel, so to speak. Is that right?
Yes, you get the point. Yeah, it's exactly right. Because it's one model and the in parallel personal voice simulation happened at the same time, so we can seamlessly, we call it streaming, like output the simulated voice with target language.
So I'm looking at the code here. It's really cool how you're able to set it up. Are you passing like an audio stream into the service and an audio stream comes back? Or how does that actually work?
Yes, you pass the audio stream there, and the service will, a few seconds, it will pass the translated audio stream back. So then you can hear your voice in another language.
Okay, so I know you brought an example of a video. The video we're going to see next is one where you passed it through the service and that's happening live. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
let me put that up.
We actually accumulated tons of the Daten gesammelt, damit dieses universelle Modell die Nuanceuterei Algorithmenjori其算法生成更自然的声音。
It's basically happening live, but I heard it like if it was the same person.
Exactly, exactly. So we pass the English original language is the English audio streaming into the service, and ask the service to generate 3 languages in parallel. Then you can hear that they are just a very short second latency, and then it sounds like the person is speaking 3 languages in parallel, and it's a very low latency and a very nature voice quality. So that's, I
Okay, so
think, the
and then
amazing thing. Yeah.
the other example you have is it happening in Teams. So I'm going to bring that up so we can take a look at that. Let's do that.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the call today. We're here to explore how AI technology is reshaping our meetings. Reggie, could you start by sharing the developments in China?
没问题。AI 实时翻译技术帮助我们大大提高了会议的效率和理解度，让我们能更加顺利的交流。No problem. AI real-time translation technology has greatly improved the efficiency and understanding of meetings, allowing us to communicate more smoothly. Are there any new tools or trends in Japan that have an impact on meetings?
はい、AI によるリアルタイム翻訳が進化しており、会議のバリアを低減しています。Real-time translation by air has evolved and provides barriers to meetings. It's very convenient, isn't it? What kind of symbols are there in Korea?
AI 통역 기술이 정말 큰 힘이 되고 있는 것 같아요. 이 기술 덕분에 회의가 훨씬 정확하고 it seems like I'm really giving a big strength. Thanks to this technology, meetings are much more accurate and efficient, and everyone becomes more actively participating.
Great conversation. Let me schedule a meeting tomorrow to discuss this further. I'll send out a meeting invite later. Thank you all.
That's really cool.
Yeah, as you can see the demo, that's exactly a live demo that we already have published. We have it's already go to every rings, for every Teams subscriber. So if you're using Teams, you can use this technology right now. So you can see that in the meeting, you have people speaking different language. So if you enable this called the AI interpreter, and it will automatically translate so that you can understand their language like very seamlessly, and it's speaking in a voice, just like I'm speaking different languages when I'm talking to different language speaking colleagues. Yeah.
And that's really cool. I sometimes I go to other countries and I speak. It would be great if I could like speak into like a little device that actually outputs the audio to the microphone that then talks in the language of the place that I'm at. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that's exactly our targeting scenarios. We really want to help people who travel globally, who really need to speak to people who speak a different language. We want to break the gap between cross languages.
All right.
Yeah, that's
so where can people go to find out? Where can people go to find out more? I know there's a blog here. Tell us about this.
Yes. Yeah, this is just a public preview. It will introduce exactly what we released and how you can use it. Yeah.
And then obviously there's a learn thing where you can go and learn a little bit more if you want to do that.
Yes, it will share your sample code and exactly how you can use it or develop it. Just as I showed in the slides, it's just several lines of code.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us, Jackie.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for watching and learning all about the amazing live interpreter API with my friend Jackie Kang. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care.